Story 1. The Magical Rainbow Seeds. One sunny morning, Bluey and Bingo were playing in their backyard. Dad was busy planting flowers in his garden. "Can we help, Dad?" asked Bluey, her tail wagging excitedly. "Of course, kiddos," Dad replied, handing them a small pouch. "These are magical rainbow seeds. They grow into flowers of every color imaginable." Bluey and Bingo gasped. "Wow!" exclaimed Bingo, her eyes wide with wonder. "But," Dad continued, "these seeds need something special to grow. They need laughter." Bluey and Bingo looked at each other. This sounded easy. They were experts at laughing. They carefully planted the seeds, one by one, giggling with each tiny hole they dug. Then they waited. They told silly jokes, made funny faces, and even did a silly dance, their laughter echoing through the garden. But the seeds remained stubbornly buried. "Maybe we need more laughter," suggested Bluey. So they invited Muffin and Socks over. Muffin, in her usual dramatic flair, pretended to be a wobbly jelly, while Socks zoomed around on all fours, barking with delight. The garden filled with the sound of happy squeals and giggles. Still, no sprouts. Disappointed, Bluey and Bingo slumped onto the grass. "Why aren't they growing?" Bingo asked, close to tears. Dad sat beside them. "Sometimes," he said gently, "the best laughter comes not from trying to laugh, but from having fun together." He suggested they play a game of Kippy-Uppy. Soon they were all running and jumping, the ball soaring high in the air. They forgot all about the seeds and just focused on the joy of playing together. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the garden, Bingo noticed something. Tiny green shoots were poking out of the soil. And as they watched, the shoots grew taller, bursting into a kaleidoscope of colorful blooms: fiery red, sunshine yellow, sky blue, vibrant violet, emerald green, and every shade in between. The garden transformed into a breathtaking rainbow. The magic of the seeds wasn't just about laughter, it was about the joy of friendship and playing together. That night, as Bluey and Bingo drifted off to sleep, they dreamt of rainbows and the sound of happy laughter. Story 2. The Lost Constellation. One clear night, Bluey and Bingo were lying on a blanket in the backyard, gazing up at the twinkling stars. "Look, Bingo," Bluey pointed. "That's the Big Dipper." Bingo squinted. "I see it. It looks like a giant spoon." Suddenly, a shooting star zipped across the sky. "Make a wish," Bluey shouted. Bingo closed her eyes tight and wished for an adventure. Just then, a faint, shimmering light descended from the sky, landing softly beside them. It was a tiny star, no bigger than Bingo's paw. "Hello," the star chirped. "I'm Twinkle. I've fallen from the Little Bear constellation. Can you help me find my way back?" Bluey and Bingo were thrilled. A real talking star. Of course they would help. Twinkle explained that the Little Bear constellation was hidden somewhere in the night sky, and to find it, they needed to follow a map made of starlight. The map, however, was invisible to the naked eye. "Only those with a pure heart and a love for adventure can see it," Twinkle said. Bluey and Bingo held hands, their hearts pounding with excitement. As they looked up, a faint, shimmering path appeared among the stars, twisting and turning across the vast expanse of the night sky. Following the starlight map, they embarked on their celestial adventure. They hopped over fluffy clouds, dodged mischievous comets, and slid down moonbeams. Along the way, they met friendly planets, each with its own unique personality. Jupiter, a jovial giant, told them jokes that made them giggle until their sides hurt. Mars, a shy red ball, showed them his collection of sparkling rocks. Saturn, with its magnificent rings, taught them a beautiful song about the universe. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, the starlight path led them to a cluster of stars dimmer than the others. "This is it!" Twinkle exclaimed, his tiny light flickering with joy. "The little bear!" With a gentle push from Bluey and Bingo, Twinkle rejoined his constellation, his light adding to the faint glimmer of the little bear. The constellation, once dim, now shone brightly in the night sky. As Bluey and Bingo floated back down to Earth on a moonbeam, they knew they'd had an adventure they would never forget. They had helped a lost star find its way home and learned that even the smallest of lights can make a big difference. And as they drifted off to sleep, they dreamed of dancing among the stars and the sound of Twinkle's happy chirps. Story 3. The Giant Blueberry Bush. One afternoon, while playing hide and seek in the park, Bluey discovered a hidden path behind a giant oak tree. Curious, she called Bingo, and together they followed the path, pushing aside overgrown bushes and leaping over fallen branches. The path led them to a clearing where they found the biggest blueberry bush they had ever seen. It was taller than their house, with branches laden with plump, juicy blueberries, each one bigger than Bluey's head. "Whoa!" exclaimed Bingo, her jaw dropping. "It's a blueberry bonanza!" They started picking the blueberries, their baskets quickly filling up. They ate some, the sweet juice drooling down their chins, and saved some for a pie. As they picked, they heard a tiny voice. "Excuse me," it squeaked. Bluey and Bingo looked around. Perched on a blueberry, smaller than the rest, was a tiny mouse, no bigger than Bingo's thumb. He wore a tiny hat made of a blueberry leaf and carried a tiny basket woven from grass. "Hello," said Bluey gently. "Who are you?" "I am Pip," the mouse squeaked. "This is my home. I live in the blueberry bush." Pip explained that he was collecting blueberries for his family's winter feast, but the blueberries were so big and heavy he couldn't reach the ones at the top of the bush. Bluey and Bingo offered to help. Bluey, with her long legs, reached the highest branches and gently plucked the biggest, juiciest blueberries, dropping them carefully into Pip's tiny basket. Bingo, with her keen eyesight, spotted the ripest berries hidden among the leaves. They worked together, filling Pip's basket to the brim. Pip was overjoyed. "Thank you," he squeaked, his tiny eyes shining with gratitude. "You've saved our winter feast." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the clearing, Bluey and Bingo said goodbye to Pip and promised to visit him again soon. They walked back home, their baskets overflowing with blueberries and their hearts full of warmth. That night, as they ate blueberry pie with their family, Bluey and Bingo shared their adventure. They learned that even the smallest act of kindness can make a big difference, and that sometimes the best adventures are found in the most unexpected places. And as they drifted off to sleep, they dreamt of giant blueberries, tiny mice, and the sweet taste of friendship. They knew they'd always remember the day they found the giant blueberry bush and their new friend Pip. Story 4. The Singing Seashells. One sunny day, Bluey and Bingo were playing on the beach with Mom and Dad. They built sandcastles, splashed in the waves, and collected seashells. Bingo found a particularly beautiful shell, swirling with pink and purple colors. She held it to her ear, expecting to hear the ocean, but instead, she heard a faint melody. "Bluey, listen!" she exclaimed, holding the shell out to her sister. Bluey listened closely. She, too, heard the music. It was a sweet, gentle tune, like a lullaby sung by the sea. Suddenly the shell began to glow. A soft, pearly light emanated from it, illuminating their faces. Then a tiny voice spoke. "Hello," it sang. "I'm Coral. I'm a singing seashell." Bluey and Bingo gasped. "A talking, singing seashell." Coral explained that she and her fellow singing seashells were preparing for the annual Seashell Symphony, a magical concert held under the full moon. But she had lost her voice and couldn't sing. "Oh no!" cried Bingo. "What will you do?" Coral explained that she needed to drink from the magical mermaid's tear, a single drop of dew found on a special seaweed that grew only on a hidden island. Bluey and Bingo, eager to help, set off on an adventure to find the mermaid's tear. That drew them a map on a piece of driftwood showing the way to the hidden island. With Mom's sunscreen and a packed lunch, they set sail in a small inflatable boat. They sailed past playful dolphins leaping out of the waves and colorful fish swimming beneath the surface. They braved choppy waters and navigated around rocky reefs. Finally, they reached the hidden island, a lush green paradise filled with exotic flowers and singing birds. Following the map, they found a special seaweed shimmering with an iridescent glow, and there, nestled among its fronds, was a single glistening drop of dew, the mermaid's tear. Carefully, they collected the dewdrop in a tiny seashell and hurried back to Coral. Coral drank the mermaid's tear, and her voice returned, stronger and clearer than ever. She sang a beautiful song, thanking Bluey and Bingo for their help. That night, under the full moon, Bluey and Bingo watched the Seashell Symphony. Hundreds of singing seashells filled the beach with their enchanting music. It was the most beautiful concert they had ever heard. As they drifted off to sleep that night, lulled by the sound of the waves and the distant music of the seashells, Bluey and Bingo knew they had experienced something truly magical. They had helped a friend in need and witnessed the beauty of the ocean in a whole new way. And they knew that even the smallest creatures can possess the most extraordinary gifts. They knew they'd always remember the day they met Coral and the singing seashells.